Okay, so today I am with Laura Helen Herbert. Laura, thank you for being here. Thank you for participating in the Sovereign Project.
It's an honour to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're a smart cookie. You've been in the personal development scene for a long time. Tell us how you sort of fell into that personal development scene.
So our first step into personal development was reading that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki. We then were like, there's got to be another way. We were bored of the 9 to 5, but not sure what else to do. And we got into property, doing pound down deals. We actually got 36 in 6 months. Just being out there, being wacky. I was known as the crazy lady in welly boots because I'd go to meetings dressed like a mum instead of like a lawyer.
Yeah.
And just make those connections and made it happen. And then we discovered people like Tony Robbins and Gary Vaynerchuk, and just deep dived into that personal development world to open our eyes up to what could be, realizing I've been completely conditioned and trained. I need to unlearn all this stuff and start discovering, why are we really here? Who am I really?
So now you, to keep it abstract until we dive into it, you travel the world. You have multiple income streams, and you live a life that I would consider many people would see as very free and liberating. Would you concur with that? What problems come? In fact, before we go down that route with the problems, explain people how you sort of live your life.
So we live very much in the moment. we trust that it's all happening for us. We live all around the world. We actually house sit for people. So we have no bills, no home, no worries, no stress. We are completely free. We're not tied to anything. We haven't got, that people have so much panic and fear at the moment of everything rising, costs rising. We don't have the costs, so we don't have the fears. So we're pretty much out there free, just living, trying to be our best selves, living our best lives.
So go into that, the house sitting and stuff. Do you simply go on a website, a couple of websites, find who is looking for a house sitter, a pet sitter, whatever, and just apply? Is that how it works?
It is how it works. And in the beginning, obviously, we're a family of 4. We're not just a single person. So it was really making our profiles match what they're looking for. It was a lot of playing around with it in the beginning, and it was a numbers game. So we would apply to loads and just get a couple here. We've now actually turned the tables, and now when we say we're going to be in an area, we actually get inundated with requests now. So it's completely turned around. So now we can go like, oh, where should we go and live for free? Whereas before it was really like, who will have us? So it's done a complete shift.
So when you say live for free, because you're house sitting, there is no bills other than probably food bills, I'm assuming. That's it.
Most places is food, but lots of places when you go abroad, Costa Rica was amazing because you've got pineapples, coconuts, bananas, plantains, watermelons, coconuts, all just there. So we barely even spent money on food there.
Wow. So when was the first time you considered doing such a thing? Was there a point in time where you thought, I can't live like this anymore? Or did it just organically unfold?
So changing our lifestyle was there's no way out, let's create one. We had bought a home, a little girl who'd been through crazy trauma while I was pregnant with our first kid, and the legal fees completely messed us up. We weren't going to not let her be safe because of this stupid paper stuff everyone's addicted to called money. So we both steal and borrowed from everywhere to make sure she would be safe. Obviously, we didn't really steal, but we did borrow from everywhere to make sure that she was safe. But then once we'd won, we were at the point of bankruptcy. The problem with bankruptcy is it would pay back any credit cardy kind of debt, but it wouldn't repay the friends and family that we owed that showed up and stepped up when we needed them most.
Yeah.
So we just got creative and found a different way, and actually started off in Airbnbs and hotels. In an Airbnb or a hotel, it's one fee plus food. Whereas when you have the home, you've got the rental mortgage, the water, the gas, the electric, the council tax, all these different things that just add up, and you don't even realize how much you're paying. So that was our first journey, house sitting. Shall I share my story, how we came to that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so after a couple of years of travel, doing amazing things, we had what we call the worst week. So when we flew in from LA from Costa Rica, my hubby left his phone on the aeroplane, losing his driving licenses and bank cards. We later got mugged and lost a bag of all our bank cards in. We only happened to have one bank card where my chip had fallen out in my suitcase because the chip had fallen out and it was no good. But in America, I can use that and a passport and get my money out. We flew into France. They don't do that there. If you don't bank with them, they don't give you the money. So we suddenly couldn't access money. We were getting a bit creative, booking things online to make sure we could get by. And we had one night, it's like 10 o'clock at night, tired little kids. On the train station with our luggage, we got to the Airbnb. We're knocking, we're ringing the doorbell. Finally get through to them on the phone, and they say, "Oh, it's not really live. We're just testing to see if anyone would try it. Don't worry though, you'll get a refund in 7 to 10 days." And in that moment, I needed that money right now because we had nowhere to go, no place to stay. So we thought, it'd be all right, we'll do like an airport-y kind of stay, and we'll go and stay in a train station. But because it was so rural, they shut at 11. So for me, that was a really tough night. We hunkered down somewhere safe, put the kids to sleep, literally on the streets. As soon as they were asleep, I broke into a million pieces. I was, oh my gosh, worst mum, worst wife, worst human ever. I had a great pity party, really felt sorry for myself. But I had my phone and I had a battery pack. So I went to work. I added value to everyone I'd ever connected with until I made a sale, making $6,000 that night. I also connected with other world schooling, world travellers, and found out Western Union, you can transfer money to yourself and actually access it to cash. Yay! And I was Googling things like, how do I live in the world for free so this never again happens to my kids? And that's how we discovered house sitting.
So the transformation effect was through suffering.
Pain. Your greatest challenges give you your greatest gifts, whether you like it or not in the moment. It is what it is. We got 3 absolute golden things that we needed for our journey in that one type night. Yeah. And
you made the money when you really needed it. You didn't have any choice.
Absolutely.
So you've got to house sitting. How many houses would you say you've sat in now around the world?
Oh gosh, I've not been asked that before. Romania, Hungary, 4 in Spain. We're in the UK right now, literally doing 2 weeks here and there. So we're talking double digits at the moment. The kids are working out how many planes they've been on, and it's into the 40s already. So we're definitely out there, well travelled, and we've got loads of reviews, which is why people now are asking us to house sit, because we have all that. Those 6 years of reviews.
Yeah. And do you can anybody do this? Or do you need like a reputation, as you say there, you've done it for a while now, so you're getting inundated with requests. But for example, if I set up an account and I wanted to go to Romania or Hungary or wherever you went, would I be able to just get a house like that, or would I need to get into it slowly?
I think to start with, it's a numbers game. You'd have to request. Lots of people actually start local to their area, so they can just build up those reviews. And lots of people do it just for holidays and getaways rather than actual living this crazy lifestyle. Because if you haven't got the resort fees, you can then do all the excursions and all the fun stuff. And if you do house sitting rather than holidays, you actually immerse in the culture, in the community, in the language. You actually see the realness of the country rather than the touristy stuff on the beach.
Yeah. So income-wise, in the Sovereign Project, we talk about different versions of freedom and different versions of sovereignty. So you seem to have location freedom. You can go wherever you want to go using the widget, if you like, of house sitting. Financially, how do you support yourself and your children? Do you have multiple income streams? Do you have one income stream? How do you make your money?
We do have multiple income streams. I mean, even the kids have got multiple income streams, and they're still teeny boppers. So they're only 10 and 13, and they started creating theirs at 5 and 8 with their books. So they've already got that passive income. We've got our books that we've created. We help other people create books. We also do transformational coaching. We also help and coach families and support families to break free from the norm. We also we invest in cryptos and stocks and shares, which is really diverse. We really have diversified where we get our income from and where we put our income. The first 3 years, we literally, you know how they say pay yourselves first? We didn't, which is why we ended up on the streets. But we did pay off tens of thousands of debt in just 3 years whilst travelling the world with the kids.
Let's talk about that, paying off the debt. Was that in one lump sum you managed to pay it off, or was that over a period of time?
It was over a period of time. So especially once we lost the bills, everything that came in, we just went. See, the electric company made a mistake. when we were really struggling.
To listen to the rest of the conversation, click the link in the description or go to sovereignproject.io. You'll see more conversations like this, along with content, courses, and relevant discussions, giving people the tools to live the sovereign life. I'll see you there.